Hoi An sits on Vietnam's central coast, and for centuries it worked as a trading port where Chinese, Japanese, and European merchants passed through. Today, the Old Town is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, preserved not as a static museum, but as a living community where people still cook, trade, and gather every day. Before arriving, we kept seeing the same descriptions: romantic, charming, timeless. So, instead of a rigid itinerary, we arrived with a simple checklist, and by the end of this video, you'll know which iconic dishes you have to try, where to find the most relaxing coffee spots, how the world-famous custom tailoring and leather shops actually work, and why this town feels so romantic without even trying. We stayed at Hoianese Heritage Hotel, located just outside the busiest streets of the Old Town. Built with restored wood, lantern lighting, and open courtyards, it feels more like a preserved family home than a modern hotel. What really stood out was the staff. They don't just check you in, they welcome you with a full orientation. They walked us through how the Old Town works, where locals actually eat, and which shops offer the best value. With free Vietnamese coffee all day and bikes available for rent, which became our favorite way to get around, it was a perfect home base. First up on the checklist, local food. One dish defines Hoi An more than any other. That is khao lao.
So we just came from one of the wells, the Bale well, and there's one of the restaurants next to it.
Traditionally, the noodles were made using water from local wells like Bale well, which still exists nearby. At Bale, they keep it authentic: chewy noodles, savory pork, fresh herbs, and just enough sauce. We also ordered white rose dumplings, a local specialty made from translucent rice dough filled with shrimp. They're called white roses because of their delicate folded shape, and for years, only a few families in Hoi An knew the original recipe. We also tried Vietnamese spring rolls, which are lighter, fresher, and packed with herbs.
With pork, chicken, and chive.
This place was recommended by our guide for having one of the most authentic khao lao recipes, and it's definitely worth checking out. Next up is a snack we've come to absolutely love: banh mi. It's Vietnam's take on a sandwich influenced by French baguettes, but it's filled with Vietnamese flavors. Usually a mix of meats, pickled vegetables, herbs, chili, and sauce. Ko Phuong gained attention after being featured by CNN. You watch your banh mi assembled from start to finish. There's a specific charm to eating here, sitting outside and facing the street as the town passes by. Hoi An's bread stays light and crisp, and the fillings stay balanced instead of overpowering. It works as a quick meal that still keeps you connected to the street around you. For dinner, we headed to Kum Ga Nga. Every time we passed by, it was buzzing with locals and families, giving it a warm, lived-in vibe. Hoi An is famous for kum ga, or chicken rice. The chicken is gently poached, shredded, and tossed with herbs and onions. There is a beauty in its simplicity, a deliberate balance that makes it a true Hoi An staple. At Kum Ga Nga, the portions were generous. For 70,000 Vietnamese dong, it was an incredibly satisfying local find. It's the kind of meal that helps you understand Hoi An's food culture.
Long time ago, local make a cake, which is big in the middle and smaller at the top and bottom. It looks like a mango. That's why it's called mango cake. Okay, so what's the inside? Ở bên trong là gì cô?
Bên trong mài đảo đường.
Inside is sugar, peanuts, and sesame. No mango.
We also enjoyed a few street snacks from vendors around town. Mango cake. Despite its name and shape, it contains no actual mango. Sweet soup, or che, a dessert with beans, jelly, coconut milk, and ice, popular in hot weather. Snails with pork barbecue. A surprisingly flavorful nighttime snack favored by locals. Croissants, a delicious nod to Vietnam's French culinary influence. If you want more food recommendations, we have a full video on everything we ate in Hoi An. You can check that out on our channel. After all the eating, our next checklist item was refreshments, which is perfect between meals or long walks under the sun. Our first cafe stop is Hoi An Coffee Hub. Hidden at the end of a small artistic alley, this cafe feels like a reward for walking. Art stalls line the path and a large tree shades the seating area. We were very fascinated by how orders are placed through a small window. They even gave us some free iced tea to cool us down while ordering. This cafe had so many details. It felt magical because it was easy to lose track of time here. We ordered spring rolls and black coffee. We recommend this cafe because it's one of the most relaxing places to escape the heat during a hot Hoi An afternoon. Next stop is Phe Roastery, a unique experience we found thanks to a recommendation from our hotel. Phe is known for introducing people to the soul of Vietnamese coffee culture, specifically through their Phin filter classes. The Phin is a traditional brewing method that relies on gravity rather than pressure, which produces a slow, concentrated, and incredibly smooth cup. During the class, they walked us through every step, from picking and roasting the beans, to understanding how grind size and water temperature changes the final flavor. It was hands-on and easy to follow. But what we loved most wasn't just the coffee, it was the connection. As a traveler, it's rare to move past the role of an observer. But the coffee served as a natural bridge. They even sent us off with some drip coffee packets as a gift. And we made sure to pick up our own Phin filter from their shop so we could recreate the experience at home. This place is perfect for travelers who want to understand Vietnamese coffee beyond a cup, and for those looking for a quiet, meaningful break from the busy old town. The rooftop at Cafe Memories look over lantern-lit streets and the river below. Lanterns here symbolize good fortune and harmony, and at night they soften the entire old town. We ordered egg coffee, Saigon-style coffee, a croissant, and a Danish. We enjoyed watching people walk below, the sky slowly changing colors at sunset, and the lanterns starting to light up. It was one of the most romantic moments of our trip. And our last cafe stop was Uncle Juan. Cozy cafe known for its coffee art overlooking Bamu Temple. We ordered egg coffee, salted coffee, and croissants, all topped with intricate foam art. It was honestly hard to mix the foam because it looked too beautiful. The coffee tasted just as good as it looked, and the croissants were delicious. This place really makes you appreciate how creative and detail-oriented people are in Hoi An. A few drinks worth mentioning: sugar cane juice, freshly pressed and incredibly refreshing in the heat. Coconut coffee, a surprising combination that works really well. Rich and creamy, balancing bitterness and sweetness with a few coconut bits. Iced coffee from a guy on a bike, with his entire setup strapped on. It's coffee on the go.
Okay, you can try.
Which we enjoyed at a nearby park in the middle of Old Town. One of the main reasons we chose Vietnam, and Hoi An specifically, was its world-renowned tailoring and custom clothing culture at very accessible prices. A legacy of its history as a textile trading hub. That was next on our checklist. Our first stop is a famous tailor shop, Bebe Tailor. It was recommended by our hotel and is known for its quality work. I wanted custom pants, and the process followed a clear flow. First, a consultation where we discussed the style. We already had references saved on our phone, which helped. Next, fabric selection, and after choosing the fabric, they discussed pricing. We went with a more premium fabric for better durability. The more items you order, the more discounts you receive. But we decided on just 2 pieces. We came in the morning for measurements and returned in the afternoon for the first fitting. The pants weren't fully finished yet, and we were asked to return the next day. And at the final fitting, everything felt right. The staff were attentive, and the process felt very collaborative, even with a slight language barrier. You leave with something made specifically for your body. Something you once imagined is now real. We had custom shirts made by a friendly lady at the local cloth market for a fraction of the price. We got 2 custom shirts and they all turned out great.
Yeah, already done. You Thai? How are you today?
So don't hesitate to try smaller, lesser known shops. They're cheaper, friendly, and very accommodating. We also wanted leather goods. So after browsing different shops, we chose Thu Bon Leather Store. They specialize in custom leather shoes, belts, and bags. We selected a shoe style displayed in the shop and asked for a custom pair. The process included foot measurements, leather selection, and sizing adjustments. I ordered shoes and a belt. Sam found a bag she liked. We returned the next day for final adjustments and pickup. What surprised us the most was how quick and affordable everything was, especially considering it was real leather and custom made. Highly recommended. As you walk around, you'll notice a lot of shops displaying dresses with unique designs. Sam wanted a comfortable dress and found one at Bamboo Jane, known for using bamboo fiber blended with cotton. Bamboo fabric works especially well in Vietnam's climate. It's breathable, moisture-wicking, soft, and still allows modest, structured designs. The shop owner was very accommodating and even offered to alter the dress on the spot at no extra charge. You watch her walk to the sewing machine and wait while adjustments are made. It really highlighted the passion and skill of the local artisans. We finished our checklist by exploring the town's iconic landmarks. Notable ones include the Japanese covered bridge, which symbolized cultural connection.
And everyone, 2 years ago, local government decided to restore this bridge because every day some tourists come here across the bridge, it would damage.
And assembly halls like Fujian Hall, built for community gatherings and ancestor worship. As day turns to night, the character of the town shifts. The motorbikes fade away, making room for pedestrians. Lantern boats begin to float along the Thu Bon River, symbolizing wishes for peace. This transformation from a lively trading hub to a calm lantern-lit sanctuary is when the town truly comes alive. Hoi An works especially well when you're with someone special. It's a place of thoughtful meals, cozy cafes, and handcrafted details that feel deeply personal. Even the streets themselves feel like they were designed for walking together. Whether you arrive with a checklist or prefer to explore freely, the town always meets you halfway. That's why people remember it long after they leave, and why it's so often called one of the most romantic places in the world. So if you enjoyed this look at Hoi An, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss our next Vietnam video.